I'm a senior research specialist with the Voorhees Transportation Center at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Voorhees Transportation Center is a national leader in transportation policy and research. Today, this morning, my objective is to share the results from one of our recent studies, the economic contributions or impacts of active transportation in New Jersey. I will start by discussing our study's purpose, its three main components, methodology, and our economic model. I am not an economist, so if you have any questions related to that, I'll give you my business card. I will then go over the results of each component, tie them together to show you the total economic impact, and conclude by stating how we or you could use this data in your state. I would like to offer one small disclaimer. This report or this data is going through its internal review process. So if you like, I would like for you all to kind of hold off from presenting this on your blogs, etc., until the Department of Transportation has its chance to approve it. Let's get started. Purpose. Our purpose was to identify, analyze, and estimate the statewide economic contributions of active transportation in New Jersey. For this study, we focused on three main components: infrastructure investments, active transportation-related businesses, and bicycle and walking events such as 5Ks and bicycle rides and races. In terms of methodology, our data collection methods included conducting informal interviews with researchers of prior studies, such as people in Vermont, conducting informal interviews, meetings, and submission of data request forms at DOT, our counties, and municipalities, conducting analytical research on capital investments, businesses, and events. New Jersey has 565 municipalities. We reviewed all of their budgets online for this project. And also conducting online and intercept surveys of active transportation-related businesses and events race participants. New Jersey currently does not track its bicycle and pedestrian-related tourism, so hopefully this particular methodology will be used going forward to keep track of that data. Economic model. To assess the direct, indirect, and induced impacts, we contracted with a Rutgers economist who used an economic model that is designed specifically for New Jersey. We felt that this provides a more accurate picture than states that use a national model, since this particular model was created specifically for New Jersey. Let's begin with the first component, infrastructure investments. To determine how much investments went into bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, we looked at the following data sources. We looked at DOT's grant programs, such as Safe Routes to School, Safe Routes to Transit. We went through all of their construction bid sheets for 1 year. We looked at other federal sources and grants not administered by DOT, but showed up in the budgets of our three metropolitan planning organizations. And as I stated, we reviewed municipal and county budgets, and also we looked at funding from the Federal Highway Administration's Recreational Trail Program. So in 2011, this data is based on 2011. The study was written up in 2012, so we had to use 2011 data. We found that infrastructure investments to be approximately $63 million in 1 year. This is only infrastructure. However, $16 million of that was from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. But interestingly, when we plotted the projects, we noticed that investments were made in over 250 projects statewide. So this is not a city study, this is statewide. We put these numbers into our model and came away with the following numbers. In infrastructure investments alone, they contributed $150 million in economic activity, 648 jobs, 44 million plus in wages and salary, 75 million plus in added contributions to the state GDP, and 15.68 million in tax revenue at the local, state, and federal level. Now let's look at businesses, which is our second component. To determine this impact, we look to the following data sources: Dun & Bradstreet and Manta.com. There we found a listing of 317 independent active transportation-related businesses in the state of New Jersey. We contacted as many as possible and asked about revenue and employment totals. We had a response rate of about 16.7%. If you're familiar with research, that's generally okay. But about, in hard totals, 53 of them responded. We put this, from the survey, we found the following data. The estimated total overall revenue was $267 million. In terms of the estimated total compensation, it was $37 million. Total employment, 2,253 full and part-time jobs, and the estimated average compensation per business was around $116,000. So when you put this into the model, businesses alone contributed $290 million in economic activity in New Jersey. 3,000 jobs, $90 million in wages and salary, $171 million to the state gross domestic product, and $41 million in tax revenue, once again at the local, state, and federal level. In terms of events, this is where we wanted to get our tourism-based numbers from. We use online directories to compile a list of all 2011 run, walk, and bicycle events in New Jersey, what we're deeming active transportation. There we found that 197,000 plus participants participated in 576 run, walk events in New Jersey. And 44,000 participated in 226 bicycle events. So from a combination of traveling statewide to hand out surveys and via contact with event coordinators to distribute surveys online to their web participants, we collected approximately 300 surveys from 10 events. One thing that we learned was that many people were not willing to share this information. So if one thing we could all hear here, get on your business's events coordinator, tell them to share this data, we need it. So from the survey, we found that 18% of respondents travel from outside of New Jersey. Yes, people do go to New Jersey. My New Jersey people are in the room, so we're proud of that. 6.7% of respondents required an overnight stay. Event participants are estimated to have spent over $35 million in New Jersey in 2011. Here's where they came from. Many of you will recognize these states because you live there, so you come to New Jersey too. So now we have evidence to actually prove that, all right? So here's a breakdown of what we learned from the bicycle event participants. What I was surprised to see that over $6 million was collected for charitable givings alone. Transportation costs over $5 million. Food and shopping close to $9 million. And this came from outside, well, a combination of in-state and out-of-state participants. So when you put this into the economic model for events alone, you see that $58 million, it was a result of $58 million in economic activity, close to 370 jobs, 17 million in wages and salary, 31 million added to the state GDP, and 6.4 million in tax revenue. So you add all this up, and what you find is that infrastructure investments, business, and events contributed close to $497 million in economic activity in 1 year in New Jersey. And this is 2011. You all know the state of the economy at the time. I don't say 497 million, I said $500 million. So it contributed $500 million to the economy. 4,018 jobs, 153 million in compensation, 278 million to our GDP, and 49 million in tax revenue. All right, this is important because I had mentioned earlier that 63 million was spent in infrastructure investment, but that is still less than 1% of the transportation spending in the state for 2011. Active transportation-related businesses and events, they likely rely to a great extent on quality infrastructure. So when we interviewed the people at the races throughout the state, we learned that since New Jersey has this plethora of great quality infrastructures, that was their reason for choosing to come there to bike. So we want to spur more economic activity, try and maintain your infrastructure. High event participation also suggests a potential captive audience for future investment, infrastructure investment. We need to learn more about these 250,000 people. Where are they biking, where they live, and provide incentives for them to come out even more. And estimated tax revenue from all three components, 49 million, accounts for 78% of infrastructure spending. So you're seeing 78% return. So what are some of the takeaways? I don't know if you all know or not, but New Jersey sort of leads the nation in the number of complete street policies adopted. So our goal is to increase that number at the county and municipal level, as well as implementation. We don't want to just see policies adopted, we want to see them implemented as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this data, and I'm going to take other research we've done, and I'm going to go into municipal offices, speaking to elected officials, and say, bicycling is big business. Active transportation is big business. The reason why we must do this is because via DOT, we went across the country doing complete street workshops. We had 12 of those, not across the country, but across the state. We had 12 workshops in New Jersey. We reached over 300 municipal county engineers, planning, and elected officials. We gave them a half-day training workshop on complete streets. The number one thing that was mentioned was, sure, we'll do it, we may do it, but what are the economic benefits? So that's why we're doing this study. So now we can go on with this study and say, bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure investment leads to increases in commercial property values within the special improvement districts. One of our towns by the name of Montclair, New Jersey, they've seen a booming amount of activity since they decided to complete a active transportation infrastructure investment on one of their major streets. Also, bicycle and pedestrian investment leads to decreases in residential property taxes, potentially. This is huge in New Jersey because people are burdened by the residential property taxes. But it also leads to a higher demand for residential properties because people want to be near places where they could walk and bike. Also, I let them know that there will be less demand for on-street parking. My colleague Jared Freed, the former mayor of Montclair, stated that one of the issues that many mayors face is the need for parking on streets near businesses. But if you have more people walking and biking, you'll have a less demand for on-street parking. Increases in neighborhood park usage. New Jersey is the Garden State, and we have a lot of beautiful parks, but you must provide access to those parks via investments in your bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. So if we get that, you'll have more park uses, thus the city benefits, the communities benefit, and the state benefits overall. You also have less traffic congestions on local and neighborhood streets. That's a no-brainer. But you also get a positive return on your investment. But what we're seeking ultimately is an overall increase in quality of life. We want people healthier. We want our investments to be fruitful. We want the environment healthier. And we believe that by showing these figures, by speaking dollars to people interested in dollars, we can get this done. That concludes my presentation. Should you need to contact me, my info is listed here. By the way, I do answer my phone, so you can call this number should you need me. Thank you. Thank you very much.